Media.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. We have breaking news. Jagmeet Singh has broken his coalition with Justin Trudeau. Yes, it is not a lie. It is not clickbait. It is not anything more than what we've been talking about for months. Now, if you come back to what I was discussing earlier in the summer, that I felt that over the summer, Justin Trudeau and the Liberals were going to be feeling the squeeze. They're going to be getting the pinch. And of course, it may result in people either crossing the floor, MPs stepping down and quitting their jobs, people who had refused to work going forward with Justin Trudeau. I spoke over the summer about Liberal MPs who were actually willing to step down for their jobs. They did not want to continue working alongside Justin Trudeau. And while we still may see that happen as Parliament resumes and more by-elections triggered, Jagmeet Singh, of course, seeing the writing on the wall and coming out to end his coalition with Justin Trudeau. Now, don't get too excited, because that doesn't necessarily mean we're going into an early election, but it does mean positive things, and we're going to get into all of that. But first, before we get into that, I want to mention this video's sponsors, Unholy History. Now, if you haven't heard of Unholy History, which you probably haven't, it is a new channel featuring a good friend of mine and yours, if you're familiar with the political realm, on YouTube, which is Celtic Canuck. Now, Celtic Canuck has started this channel, Unholy History, doing different kind of stories, and if you're into things like cold case files or murder mysteries, this video here, Shadows of Scotland, The Dark Legacy of Swanee Bean, is, of course, an amazing, amazing video, well put together with great stories. She features kind of mythic lore, murder mystery, bone-chilling stories. I would highly recommend, if you're into those kind of things, you go and check it out. Show Celtic Canuck some support over at Unholy History. Again, I'll have a link below in the channel. But before anything else continues, let's get on with the story. Let's get on with what's happening. There is going to be a press conference later on today, but I wanted to show what's going on at least and talk about why this doesn't necessarily mean an election right away. The NDP, it says here, kills up the deal that propped up Justin Trudeau's Liberals, putting his minority government at risk. And boy, does it ever. The breakup letter is out there. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is ripping up his 2022 deal with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to support the Liberal government, a move that immediately makes a more unstable minority parliament and could create the conditions for a snap election call. It does not automatically trigger an election, because the 24 NDP members of Parliament could continue to support the 154-member minority Liberal government on a vote-by-vote basis, which is exactly what the Liberals are counting on, rather than automatically moving to declare lost confidence in Justin Trudeau. So this is, again, where I wanted to cover this, because what this essentially means is that I've often said that Jagmeet Singh is comparable to the little kid at the adults table asking to come join in on the meal and being told to go sit back down at the kids table. Jagmeet Singh hasn't been getting anything beneficial from Justin Trudeau, even though he barks up that he's getting dental plans, that he's getting free healthcare plans and whatnot. Those things haven't come to fruition. And of course, Justin Trudeau doing nothing more than telling him to be silent and sit down. This, of course, puts the negotiations back in Jagmeet's favor by essentially telling Trudeau, look, if you don't do what I'm saying, now I've shown you that I have the supposed cojones, which we know he doesn't have, to move in another direction. I can actually end your career if you don't want to prop up what I'm proposing. The collapse of the agreement does, however, mean that Singh could introduce a non-confidence vote or vote for any such motion the Conservatives or Bloc could present, potentially plunging the country into a federal campaign, which the Conservatives immediately demanded. So again, this really pushes along and could be experimental for Jagmeet Singh as to whether or not he's going to continue to push for his pension, or if he's going to see numbers move in his favor to stick around for a little while. If people are maybe going to turn tail and say, no, we're okay with him now, he can stay. He may side with the Conservatives in a few spots to help boost his numbers. It has yet to be seen. Now, I would really hope that people of Canada aren't that foolish, that they're not going to forget what Jagmeet Singh has done. But here we are. In a recorded video statement released Wednesday on social media, Singh said he is canceling the supply and confidence agreement 10 months early because the Liberals cannot be trusted to fight or win what he says is a battle for the future of the middle class. Of course, it's nothing more than money. You've got to follow the money every time. Jagmeet Singh is looking at his ability to really negotiate and come to the table for what he believes he wants for the NDP. Again, propping up his numbers and showing that he somewhat cares about Canada, even though it's all about money at the end of the day, folks. Singh said the Liberals have proven that they will always cave to corporate greed and they don't deserve another chance from Canadians, adding that the Liberals are careering towards irrelevancy. Singh talked tough about getting ready for the next federal vote, suggesting that Conservatives would form a government that would make deep cuts that will hurt workers, retirees, young people, patients, and families in order to give more to big corporations and wealthy CEOs. So again, him basically letting you know in that statement, it doesn't mean he's forcing an election. In fact, he doesn't agree with the conservative package that's coming forward for a future government. He's essentially just breaking the deal, and I believe it's again to straw man with Justin Trudeau when it comes to putting through what he wants in the House of Commons. The fact is the Liberals are too weak, too selfish, too beholden to corporate interests to fight for people. They cannot be changed. They cannot restore hope. They cannot stop the Conservatives, he said, but we can. So again, more signs he's not pushing an election. In the next federal elections, Canadians will choose between Pierre Poilievre's callous cuts or hope. Hope that when we stand united, we win, that Canada's middle class will once again thrive together. I'm running for Prime Minister because together we can stop and will stop conservative cuts, he says. So again, Jagmeet Singh propping himself up to run for PM. It's not going to happen. It's not happening. Keep in mind, this is the same guy who lifted up a sack of apples claiming that it was a bag of potatoes. This man has the intelligence of a squirrel. It's not happening. There's no way the Canadian public would vote for Jagmeet Singh in a future election. Trudeau, speaking less than an hour after Singh's withdrawal from the deal, turned the NDP leader's comments back to the New Democrats. He said he would remain focused on ensuring Canada's economic recovery continues, hauling the Bank of Canada's decisions Wednesday to cut interest rates to 4.25% as proof that his government's approach is working. He said there is more work to do to deliver dental care, free insulin and contraceptives, and environmental policies that will improve the lives of Canadians. So again, he wants to focus on interest rate cuts. 4.25 is still not, interest rates are at historic lows, Glenn. There's nothing Trudeau can do to really prop up the Liberals at this point. It's not going to happen either. In Rocky Harbour, Newfoundland, to highlight federal money for its school lunch program, Trudeau said he looked forward going to continue to demonstrate, invest in their citizens, invest in the future, because that's what we're doing. The NDP is going to make the decision about whether or not they want to stand with Pierre Poilievre, who is going to cut the school food programs, cut dental care, not deliver on pharmacare, or whether they're going to focus on what it means to be Canadians through this difficult time. Again, the attacks are animosity, not wanting to essentially say that he's okay with what's happening, but the attacks are coming. This is where, again, he's going to say, look, if Jagmeet Singh sides with the Conservatives, he doesn't care about Canada. He doesn't care about hardworking Canadians. Again, for a guy who almost would convince you that they were in a relationship before, now telling you how terrible he is. Every politician gets to choose whether they want to play politics or whether they want to serve Canadians, and I certainly hope the NDP will stay true to its fundamental values, which is making sure that Canadians get the support they need and keeping away the austerity that cuts the damage that will be done by Conservatives if they get the chance. Just last week, Liberal House Leader Karina Gould at a cabinet retreat predicted the deal would endure, saying that they'd made good progress on things like dental care and pharmacare, and there was more to do. So again, Karina Gould, who meets with bad guys from WW2 in the House of Commons, once again showing she doesn't know what she's talking about. However, the polls show that the NDP is between 15 to 20% approval ratings and has gained nothing at all from supporting the Liberals, and the Liberals under Trudeau have plunged in the polls. In the face of withering criticism by Conservatives, they formed a costly coalition, which is exactly what this is. And again, I don't think Canadians are going to forget that Jagmeet Singh has done this to them, despite whatever he props up with the Conservatives, whatever he props up with the Liberals. Essentially what he's admitting here is he's willing to stand and strawman in order to be a two-faced weasel in the House of Commons. Sellout Singh, which reigns true, refuses to state whether the NDP will vote with non-confidence to cause carbon tax election at the first chance, says Poilievre, saying the NDP's leader's support for the Liberals' increased carbon tax will drive Canadians to food banks to grind our economy to a halt, killing hundreds of thousands of jobs. The New Democrats say that Singh's move comes after a summer in which senior representatives discussed next steps with party members as to whether now is the time to pull out of the deal. Well, of course it is. It was always the time to pull out of the deal. Just a few short months ago, Singh told the Star's Althea Raj that he viewed the deal as a way to leverage additional changes from Trudeau government, underscoring the ongoing need to improve the dental care program and benefits for disabled Canadians. We want to see the work finished, he said, then. Now, what you have to understand is that Jagmeet Singh clearly knows nothing about business. He doesn't know anything about negotiating at the table. In fact, by colliding with Justin Trudeau, he essentially showed him that he's willing to be bought and that he'll do whatever Trudeau says. If you really want to have any kind of status quo at the negotiation table, you have to have a position of power. Jagmeet Singh officially has that now that he's broken this coalition by stating that at any time he can change his mind. He should have done this from the beginning if that's really what he cared about. I don't believe that's the case. I think all he cared about was his pension, like Pierre Poilievre says. We'll see. However, new NDP with a senior position in Canada's Labour movement spoke to the Star earlier this week on the condition said they would not be named, said the Liberals' decision to impose binding arbitration to the end the work stoppage after Canada's two largest railways and the union representing their workers failed to reach a new contract crossed the line for the NDP. Singh's response to that move, calling Trudeau's Liberals cowardly, anti-worker, and proof that they will always cave to corporate greed. That decision was pretty bruising to the relationship, they told the Star. In an interview with the Star last month, veteran MDP MP Charlie Angus said that he felt his party had achieved what we were going to achieve in the agreement. There's an election coming, so now we need to begin a transition. Where are we going next, he said. Well, you're going into the toilet because, again, the polls are showing nobody wants to listen to the NDPs. Jagmeet Singh has not just formed a coalition with Justin Trudeau, but he's shown his true hypocrisy. Senior NDP source from source central to the decision told the Star that the condition they not be named at Wednesday's move was a long time coming, and that discussions with caucus began in earnest when last spring's session of Parliament started winding down. I think it was just becoming clear it's time to move ahead now and to the kind of reassert our own view of the world, the source said. This wasn't a singular issue that tripped the scales in recent weeks, the source said, and that the caveat that the Liberals' handling of last month's railway shutdown did little to inspire renewed confidence in the deal. I think there's a number of frustrations, as always, the source says, characterizing the Liberals' progress on issues like housing and grocery prices as exceedingly slow and halfway measures. We've delivered as much as we're going to and as much as they're willing to, and so it's time to move on now, the source said. The source insisted that the party is in solid financial shape to withstand an early election call, a possibility they said could happen sooner rather than later. Again, it's a nothing burger until it actually happens. I'm a person who tends to believe until it's in writing, I don't take it at face value. The NDP paid off its $22 million 2021 campaign loan earlier this year and plans to release more details on its election preparedness in the coming weeks. The party has nominated more than 50 candidates with many more ready to go, the source said, adding the decision to exit the deal is expected to push more people to come forward. Not likely. In the aftermath of chaos caused by the truckers' convoy blockade of Ottawa and border crossings in the spring of 2022, Trudeau and Singh negotiated and signed the cooperation agreement. Although the Conservatives, then in the midst of a leadership race, blasted it as a Liberal NDP coalition, it was never a formal coalition. It never guaranteed the NDP positions in cabinet or a veto on decision-making. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's a duck. Currently, the party standings in the House of Commons are Liberals at 154, Conservatives at 119, the Bloc at 32, NDP at 24, Green Party at 2. So again, the Bloc could still outvote the Conservatives and NDPs on a vote. So it's not absolute power. There are 3 independent MPs and 4 seats vacant. By-election scheduled for September 16th, the day Parliament resumes sitting for the fall sessions. Again, David Lametti's riding is included in that, as well as one in Transcona that's NDP, or an NDP stronghold. So again, those 2 by-elections are going to be very critical to see where those seats go. Singh was elected leader of the NDP in 2017 to replace Thomas Mulcair, who has also called out Jagmeet Singh. I'll remind you, in public, and as of recently, on Vashi's show with on CTV. And his first electoral campaign was 2019. He led the party to a 20-seat drop, placing it as fourth in the Commons. In the following 2021 campaign, he managed to increase the party's total by 1 seat, which again is not a good track record for Jagmeet Singh. Although it is being cancelled 10 months early, both Singh and Trudeau can check off in some form most of the deal's 24 objectives. They go into what it saw for creations, but again, it doesn't add up to anything. It's not. Everybody knows that it hasn't gone anywhere. It hasn't done anything. It's just spend, 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 spend. In fact, one of the names I always have for the NDP is the Spend DP, simply because that's all they do. They spend and they tax. That's the party's essentially motto. Spend all you can and give nothing back, much like the Liberals. So what we're seeing here is the end of a coalition government, but essentially not necessarily a fall election or an early election. But again, ladies and gentlemen, I would caution you to sit with a little bit of naivety like I do and hope that things heat up in the fall, that some issues come abroad, that maybe this will slow Justin Trudeau's radical behavior now that he has something to worry about in the House of Commons. So the damage that could be done between now and the next election is hopefully reduced. But hopefully that Justin Trudeau comes across with some form of scandalous behavior that pushes Jagmeet Singh over the edge, that he meets with the Conservatives and he finds a deal to essentially go to the polls. Your guess is as good as mine at this point as to what's going to happen. As we see in politics, anything's fair game. Anything can happen. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If it's your first time here, don't forget to click that subscribe button, hit your bell for notifications. Join me live here on the channel with my beautiful wife, Mrs. Fringe, every Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central here on the channel, where we go over everything that's happened this week in politics. We will definitely be talking about this, but we also have some back and forth stories about quirky things and fun things that have also happened around the world, and a little bit of chat with our community. It's always great to hear from you guys inside of those streams, outside of these videos, and hear what you have to say, as well as have some fun with you each and every Friday night here on the channel. And we look forward to seeing each and every one of you there every single Friday night, again, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central here on the channel. Don't forget to head over to Unholy History and give Celtic Canuck a good old follow over there, a good subscribe. Let them know the Fringe sent them. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.